Hello everyone, and welcome to another One Piece manga chapter read along. This is chapter 1146. I am reading it on the Shonen Jump app. I think you can read it on Manga Plus as well, but I'm not sure. I haven't opened it yet because every week I open it too early and then I react to the cover story or whatever, the title of the chapter. That should be in the video, right? So Mugiwara says it is on Manga Plus, so you can also read it on Manga Plus. But I really love the Shonen Jump app because it's very cheap for all this great manga. And with Manga Plus, it kind of gets confusing sometimes because you can read most things once free, like one chapter. But then sometimes I read like halfway and I have to come back to it. But then you have to keep the tab open, and it's like, the only thing that's a benefit, but also for me, like, not really. You also get access to the Viz Media. So some of the manga that isn't on here, if it's too mature, maybe it goes on the Viz Media website. But I hate reading on there because I want to read on my phone, and the Viz Media website on your phone is just terrible. Like, the user interface, I don't know what, I can't turn the pages properly, and then very annoying. But sorry, I don't mean to complain. I love the app. I think they just should put everything on here instead of censoring some stuff. I don't know. How did I go out? Okay, so let's get started with 1146, opening the chapter. The cover story is Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage. That is a mouthful. Volume 31. I'll never forget the debt I owe you. I will be your follower for life. Yes! Yamato and Ulti! Just more of this, please. Look how small Ulti looks next to Yamato, though, right? Aw, that is so sweet. Ulti redemption. She's gonna join the good girls. So Sam says the episode today was the adaptation of chapter 1092. So the anime is 54 chapters behind. In my mind, I was dumb. In my mind, chapter 1126 means episode 1126 means chapter 1126. So I was like, wait a minute. We're only 20 chapters ahead. That is wrong. 1092 was episode 1126. So we are 54 chapters behind. So that seems like a good place to be for the manga versus the anime. Although when we really reach the end, I wonder if that's going to be such a good thing. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Kayla is bad at math. Shocking. Oh, true. Be Like Odin has started because Odin also had like Kinemon and stuff. They were kind of like baddies, but then they were inspired by Odin and they became his followers, and they, like, even Kinemon had like blonde bleached hair, which is that typical, oh, he's a bad boy. It reminds me of in Dragon Ball Z when Chi-Chi says, oh, they're delinquents because they're delinquents. So yeah. Why the dots? So anywho, Ashura Doji is probably the who's who. What do you mean? Ashura Doji, the guy with the pink hair. And who's who is a separate character, right? So, oh, I see what you're saying. Who's who is going to become the Ashura Doji. I see. I really like who's who's character for some reason. He rolled the other day, but I think I don't remember why, but I didn't claim him. But I really thought about it. I was like, yeah, I like him. I don't know. Okay, so today's chapter name is Motion in Stillness. Isn't that, like, I love contradictory titles like that. Like, Silence in the Noise. It's like two opposites, but Okay, so we're starting over here with this page. An oxymoron, is that what it's called? If who's who. What did he do? You know, when enough time has passed, I end up forgetting what they did and why I was mad at them. So, Usopp says, "Hey, who are you?" I'm guessing it's an intruder. Intruder? One of the human intruders who the castle guards couldn't handle? You're the one who are kidnapping the children then. You dare call me a human? Excuse me? You're not? Excuse me? What? What does that mean? You. And here I thought you were interesting, so gonna reveal something interesting. We are gods. Gods? You sound like Eneru or the celestial dragons. What would gods want with the children of Elbaf? Yeah, what she said. Those are my friends. Where are you taking them? Give me back my friends. Hold your tongue, boy. We'd prefer a simpler method, but at that size, our options are limited. What is happening here? But also, oh my goodness, look how beautiful she is. But what's Frankie doing? Oh my, wow. What's her name again? Ripley. So they'll just have to walk. We will take them to the Holy Land via an appropriate route. The Holy Land? Mary Joie? Are you a celestial dragon then? What? You mean those ugly, annoying... Wait! You don't look like the ones I'm thinking of. I suspect it's something above that. The Holy Knights. The very same. So does that mean it's the Gorosei, the Holy Knights, and then the Celestial Dragons? Do the Celestial Dragons know this? It looks like he shot the thing they were running away from. Oh! I see. Man, Ripley is gorgeous. Okay. So, Brooke says, I suspect it's something above that. The Holy Knights. Sorry. Let me just... There's no comment. Oh, 194. Oh, really? It's such a small thing. Okay, so she replies, the very same. Does that mean you're capturing all those kids to turn them into slaves? And then she makes one of those little arrows pop up next to Usopp. What's this arrow doing? You'll do no such thing. What? You'll do no such thing. Who? Oh, turning them into slaves. Nami is saying, she won't turn them into slaves. And then she calls Zeus. Did you call for me, Nami? Ah, why does it keep chasing me? Get off, get off, get off. And she uses Thunder Shark tempo. Ooh, that's a new one. Brooke would probably be old enough to hear rumors somehow about the Holy Knights. I wouldn't be surprised, yeah? Maybe before he became a pirate. We don't really know much about Brooke before he became the Brooke as we know him. We saw a little bit, you know, with Laboon and stuff, but I mean, that was an entire different generation. Like, how long ago was that? Do we know? One day, the world as we know it will cease to exist, or so we thought. Run, Nami, look out! Oh, she turned the shark around. She can redirect any attack that way. And Nami got shocked. Hit by her own attack. Oh my goodness, that's Nami's bones? What? Oh! No, it was Brooke. I think it was Brooke. It's me. What? You? Nami's like, I'm fine. Wow, there's a lot of things happening at once. Like, it's tough. During an anime, it's easy to hear the words being said and the action happening. But when you're reading it, you have to make it happen together in your own brain. Like, the attacks are happening, plus Gunko is speaking over all this chaos. So let me just try and read that again. One day, the world as we know it will cease to exist, or so we've thought. But a small number of humans realized it and warned the world of danger. And here we have, Clover Hakase, Robin's mom, and Vegapunk. So they were maybe the ones who warned others. Usopp then tries to shoot her. He hits her. You thought we'd be intimidated by celestial dragons? You didn't have to be so gruesome, Usopp. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to blow your upper half off. But that doesn't matter. She's like reshaping. I felt bad for her, but the way she's regenerating is really gross. You're right. It's really creepy seeing someone come back to life. Brooke said that. I love that he used the Brooke getting electrocuted instead of Nami gag again. I vaguely remember that happening before. Vaguely. And the funny part is both Nami and the Brooke are all both of them are just going like, Brooke is like, and Nami's like. So anyway, he says, it's really creepy seeing someone come back to life. And now, it is unstoppable. No one can stop it. And then she makes an arrow that goes straight to Usopp. I had a feeling. These arrows are pointing towards the targets of her attacks. We've got this one, Usopp. It would be the height of folly to take a hit as predicted. I feel like that's a red flag. That's like the countdown has begun. A vast war will ensue and drag the entire world into it. And which side the giants pledge their allegiance to will have a profound effect on the outcome of the war. So they want to force the giants to fight on their side by keeping their children hostage, which is the only conceivable reason I can imagine. Even me, like, when I see people going out and doing the worst stuff in wars, I just feel to myself, the only thing I could imagine like that would convince me to, if your children are being held hostage or anything like that, it's like then I get the feeling of it's either your children or mine. But people often, I think politicians often use that rhetoric, like they're coming for your children or whatever, and it's a dangerous game. Let's just put it that way. I do understand wanting to fiercely protect your children, 100%, because that's the easiest way to get people to do whatever you want. No, wait. I 100%, we should be protecting our kids like that. Our kids and our helpless people, the most vulnerable of society, should definitely be protected. But this is like, there's a line, right? But there's no line here because they're literally taking their children. I don't know what I would do. I would, especially if you don't have any power. But the giants have power. They're gonna fight for their kids. But it's tough when you feel like you don't have the power to stop them. But in this case, thankfully, we have Luffy and them here to lend a hand. Plus, the giants have a lot of strength themselves. So. Okay, anyway, Gunko is being very creepy. I definitely think that this is, the animation here matters a lot. They need to do this one right, cause in and of itself, it's putting like things that we've been new for a long time, but she's saying it now in plain words, and it's really sinking in, right? So so she attacks Usopp with the arrow, and Jinbei says, "We've got this one, Usopp. It would be the height of folly to take a hit as predicted. The countdown has begun. A vast war will ensue." Okay, and the side that has the giants will most likely win. It's not a guarantee, but as she says, it will have a profound effect on the outcome. Mugiwara says, "I hope that they give the God Knights a creepy theme, like a very foreboding one, like a that gives you kind of those kind of it raises your hair like when a cat starts going up like that." So Nami responds, "The whole world at war? That would never happen." But it's happened. What, 2 or 3 times before? I mean, here. In our world, it's happened at least twice that we know of. "So, you're trying to seize control of Elbaf in preparation for it? By taking children as hostages? What cheap cowardice." What's that thing about trying to win a war before it starts? Innocent people die every time. "I perform my duty as commander, but it would be all for nothing. The lives of a few children might as well be trash to me. I do not understand the concept of hostages." Oh, freaking! You can be however cute, but when you say shit like that, you just ugly. Ugh. Like it's so like who. I feel like this is how people must feel about Sasuke. Some people in my community, for some reason, there's a very strong "we hate Sasuke" vibe. And I'm like, okay, I don't get it. I mean, I disliked him in parts too, but like giving you like, ugh, that's how I feel here. What's wrong with you? You got a few screws loose. I'll fight you. And then she wraps an arrow around his neck. Ugh, get off! Then Jinbei jumps into action with 5,000 sand brick, ... and the brook with gavotte. But oh, they end up attacking each other! Of course they do. Oh, hitting your own allies. That's got the heart. Kicks Nami in the face. That bitch. What are the shoes she's wearing? Those are like egghead type of shoes, aren't they? I'm only noticing that now. Let me go back. Oh, no, never mind. From this angle, it kind of looked that way, but it's not. It's just the back. Please, does she realize that she's fighting the Soul King? Does she know? I don't think she knows. Yeah, she's a great antagonist, but I'm not reacting to her right now as, ooh, a well-written antagonist. I'm reacting to her as that bitch. She's killing my friends right here. She's on, well, not killing them. I mean, she's hurting them. So I'll take a step back later. I have to say it's definitely easier to be outside of the story when I'm reading a manga versus when I'm watching an anime. But I kind of feel like, well, never mind. I have to actually make a list of antagonists that I ended up liking. There are the ones that are just entertaining characters, like probably for you guys it's Gunko. But it took me like a long time to see Crocodile or Eneru or, you know, all of them in that way. Don't tell me theories yet, please. So yeah, she's just attacking them with her little arrows, kneeing Usopp in the face. I'm sure many of you wish that could be you. Like, yes, please, Gunko, step on me. Sanji! Sorry, excuse me, what? Oh, wait, we're not allowed? Because Sanji doesn't bark. Sanji is just the coolest, the strongest, the blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I know I shouldn't make it worse, but that is exactly what I always say, Mugiwara. I only like them better once they're no longer an active threat. How's it looking? You all sit up Killingham? The means of communication are so inadequate in Elbaf. No kidding. But it seems like every village and important facility has its own transmission tool. No! Principal Tusk! Corner! Nice hard corner! What does that mean? He's talking like a football thing? I can't move. Yes, that's because your body has been slumbertized. That's a word. It's this big one, right? I've never heard of a transponder pill bug. Try talking through the transponder snail, Somers. This should send it all across Elbaf. Alright, I'll give it a shot. Just give me a minute first, Killingham. He's almost down. No, not again. Like, we already had this with Soul. I don't want to see it again. The former Vice Admiral. You gotta help. Rescue the children for me. You gotta. Yee ha ha ha. Come on. Fall forward. And down he goes. Into a a sea of thorns. And this guy's like having fun. Robin, Chopper. Oh, sorry, I missed this part. Robin, Chopper, don't come out. Stay hidden around the back of my head. Oh, that's why he fell forward. Oh my god. Always freaking soul. Schools, libraries, what kind of peace-loving nonsense is this? You people are warriors. You're going to use that vicious, violent power that once terrified the world in service to us as mercenaries. Isn't that right, King Harold? And then stupid Harold had to go and screw it all up. So maybe he backed out. That is interesting to me. So you're saying this guy is miles ahead of Gunko because he laughs at the pain of Soul. But Gunko is the exact same. She just doesn't laugh. She sees them as so far beneath her. Like, it's just a different... But it's the exact same thing. They don't care about people. They see themselves as gods. So lives don't matter to them. One laughs and one doesn't. There's no difference to me between... The hate you feel for this guy is the exact same for me with Gunko. And I feel like the almost only reason why Gunko is different is because she's cute. So some people, like, kind of, their brains just go... Because that has happened to me. I don't remember exactly who, but it's Sukuna. It's a bunch of hot villains. And then people are like... Oh, I hate this one more for these arbitrary reasons, but really they're equally despicable. See people as equally beneath them, willing to kill and do whatever they want because I'm a god. Okay, because one laughs. So it's worse. No, it's not. Sadistic side of the guy that makes me extra mad, but that's just a reactionary thing. So you need to see him enjoy it to understand how bad this is, but I don't need that. It's bad. What they're doing is bad. Whether or not they enjoy it, it's equally bad, so I hate them equally as much. But it's just a reactionary thing. So like the contrast between what's happening versus his feeling, it's making you angry, but it should be the exact same. Like if someone stabs you, they're a bad guy. But if someone stabs you and laughs, he stabbed you. It's not really make a difference a little. Like, I guess what in your mind it might be similar to like a serial killer that goes around killing people for fun. But I don't see it like he kills more people than her. They seem to kill about the same amount of people. They seem to not care about people at all. It's not, I can't see it in the same way. A serial killer versus a regular stabber. Because if both have killed 10 people, one was laughing, the other one wasn't, doesn't matter. They killed both people. All celestial dragons are shit either way, except Mjolsgard when he lost the god complex. And then you have to wonder what triggered that? What made him realize that what he was doing, the way that he was living was wrong? Because these people are raised with this belief. You know, if you're raised with the belief that you are above other people, it takes a lot for it should, because when you reach a certain age, your brain is capable of thinking critically, but the more it's been ingrained into you, the harder it is to shake that, like a belief that's been ingrained in you. So it's not an excuse just because you were taught something. If you're an adult, you're responsible for your own actions, whether or not you were taught that it's right or not. But for some reason, Miosgard, is he the one that went to which one is the one that went to the Fishman Island, and then he something made him realize, I think his life was in danger or something happened, and then it was just talking to Otohime on the boat trip to Marijoa, just someone challenging his thought process. But also after that, didn't she like he went to Fishman Island originally because of a freed slave. Did he want to go get it? Monkey D says, I wonder if the God's knights or Gorosei have the same meaning as the celestial dragons when they call themselves gods. I think, if I'm understanding it correctly, it feels to me like the celestial dragons are like pretend gods, but there are ones above them that, I mean, obviously they're not real gods, but they see themselves as real gods, and they see the celestial dragons as beneath them, and then everyone else is even beneath them. But anyway, the Gorosei and these holy knights, it seems to me like they see themselves as higher gods than celestial dragons. I don't know. Yes, Gunko's regenerating ability, I assumed it was the exact same. It didn't even surprise me because I was like, well, yeah. They seem to have something from, I don't know, Emu or what. I feel like the celestial dragons are like most presidents in the world, where they're just the face. But there are, and they do have some power, but they're just, it's like puppets on puppets on puppets to hide the real, sounds like some Illuminati shit, right? But yeah, most presidents I think are figureheads. So when the people do rise up, they probably have, that's their shield almost. So they go for them first, and then they're kind of unknown. You can be mad at the system or whatever above you, the people above you, but if you don't know their faces, you can't really rise up against them. So the figureheads are the first to fall, right? And then the Gorosei, I mean, very few people even know what they look like, even get to talk to them or anything like that. So, but yeah, I didn't really have much of a reaction to Gunko's ability because in my mind, I just took it as it's the same. But celestial dragons are not the same. They don't have that power. So I definitely think that these ones are, they see themselves as the true gods. And then they let the celestial dragons think that they're the gods. And then everyone else is just, if all the holy knights have the regen ability, it's going to be a hard fight. How do we deal with that again? Like my freaking goldfish memory. When we were fighting the other guy. Wait, he lost. And then the other guy replaced him, and then it's like his ability was taken away, and then he like died from that. I don't remember what happened. Oh my god, my freaking. Sometimes I feel embarrassed. That's what happened, right? Luffy couldn't figure out how to deal with the regen with Saturn, but then he died by his ability being taken away. So what the hell are they gonna do here? I don't know. I've seen Gunko ability in a more scary way in another anime. If she's used the same, we are fucked. Oh, you said Soul Eater or something? I saw that. Mm. I like the parallel with Gunko's speech about the inevitable war and her arrows that are predestined and can't be changed. That is a nice parallel. But with stuff like that, it's usually very much like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Well, I think like this whole war. I mean, they're preparing for this war, right? But they're causing so much reasons for that war to start in the first place. No, I don't think you're reading too much into it. I think that was on purpose. Because there are so many arrows, like, and her talking is going literally over each page, slowly in parallel. I think it would flow really nicely in the anime as well. I hope so. But then, when you consider it that way, about the parallel, then Brooke's words hit even harder. It would be the height of folly to take a hit as predicted. Kind of like, you know, how I bring this up a lot, so I'm sorry, but it reminds me about when I was watching Attack on Titan. I was really invested in the fact of like why morals are important in a society, because I really want to know how to prevent these worst case scenarios, because I feel like there has to be something we could do. How does it end up like this? If we can learn about that. So I remember buying the Mein Kampf because I was hoping to read it one day and understand, how did someone do this? Where did it start? You know, how can we notice the patterns? So that, because, as Brooke says, it would be the height of folly to take a hit as predicted. When we have the maps, thousands and thousands of examples of things that went wrong in history and what that led to and what that led to. Like, at some point, are we a little bit stupid for letting it happen? I don't know. I don't want to say that, but sometimes it feels like, I don't know. But I like that when you consider the parallel, Brooke's words are so important. The height of folly for us to let it happen. Like when the arrow is pointing you right there. So this gives you like the idea that it can't be stopped. So he says it would be the height of folly. So it makes you feel like, oh shit, I feel like this is going to end badly. The height of folly, we're probably going to see that. But at the same time, how much more amazing would it be then? How much of a win would it be to just once see her hit not land? Or when they can figure out the weakness. So kind of like today's DBZ episode when Goku was fighting something, and he had to see this attack 3 times before he could see what the weakness was. Everything it must have a weakness. Nothing can be invulnerable. So I feel like the way that Eneru had his weakness, rubber, what could stop arrows? Like, what could... Because she redirects everything. So how do we stop a freaking arrow? And it's not like a bow and arrow. No, it's like a literal arrow. So weird. Gunko did mention that the world will end, but at some point people realized and warned the world about it, showing Clover and Vegapunk. It seems like she's saying they're causing the war. Huh? Wait a minute. The world ending means it has ended before. It keeps going in these cycles. The world as we know it ends, but not the world itself. But then she said that it's like it was already heading that direction. To me, it sounds, this is my interpretation. One day, the world as we know it will cease to exist, but a small number of humans realized it and warned the world of the danger. But I think that's regarding the rising sea levels and the fact that the land will be less, so people are gonna fight over land. That's the war that they predict. Whereas Vegapunk was trying to warn people about it. So how I understand it is they think there's gonna be less land, so they wanna keep it for themselves. So the less people know about it, the better for them. Whereas Vegapunk and the others wanted to warn people so that they can make preparations. And Vegapunk was planning on building sky cities. He was trying to make sure that, people have a place to go. People have a solution. They don't have to die. So that's how I get it. We build a wall for the arrow. We get in its way. Yeah. They were gonna rise the level regardless, I think. Oh, right. The sea levels might be rising because of these weapons that they're using, right? I think that they are just... Because in the past, the sea levels rose, presumably because of a war in the first place. And I think that the water levels are gonna rise again. Oh, I see what you're saying. So the reason then maybe because they don't want people to know about the truth about history, because then they wouldn't be where they are. They wouldn't have the power they have. So they keep using the weapons, or they want to keep using the weapons to destroy places that learn the truth or that annoy them or that for whatever reason. So if they're going to keep using the weapons and stuff, and they do want to, their sea levels are going to rise, which means there's going to be less land, which means there's going to be less food and blah, 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 blah. And there's going to be wars, and they want to be ahead of things, ahead of everyone. So instead of creating solutions to problems, because very few governments care about solutions, whereas Vegapunk and them, they want to warn people, they want people to understand the truth so that they can see that, there's like a bigger problems out there. Rather than fighting with each other, those are your real enemies. Don't let them fool you about what's important and what's really going to happen. So, yes, we can acknowledge that the land, this might happen to but instead of fighting, if we can stop them, maybe the land won't get less at all, first of all. But secondly, even if it does happen, let's build these cities in the sky. Whatever, we'll find a solution. But yeah, no. As antagonists, I think that these batch of characters are, the angrier they can make you, the more well written they are. After all, people, I kind of get frustrated when the story successfully makes me angry at the antagonists. It frustrates me when people try to, like, but that makes them a good antagonist, and then I'm like, yeah, I know. But then let me be angry, without, we don't need to rationalize right now. Even arbitrary things, like if you do like these characters just because they're hot, or for whatever reason they don't laugh, trying to overanalyze sometimes can be its own. Just feel what you feel. I think that's been the most difficult part of becoming a manga reader, is when to when to theorize, when to analyze, and when to just feel. Just for now, let the story just be that. Because when I was watching the anime, I tried my best to just not listen to anyone else, because most people probably were manga readers, at least the ones jumping the gun. So I tried to just shut myself off from and just feel what I was feeling, regardless of what anyone was trying to tell me. But now, because I know no one can spoil me, and because I've been so excited to theorize about things, it's tough to find the balance. Okay, yeah, theorizing is fun, but number one, if someone else is right, it takes away some of the fun in, like, if maybe I would have realized it later too, but otherwise, how are you going to theorize if you don't let some people point out things to you sometimes that you might have missed? And number two, the balance between theorizing and just, for a moment, letting the emotions of the chapter kind of like wash over you and just be what it is. Don't overthink it. So for me right now, especially since we're talking about this mainly because of the antagonists, when it comes to the antagonists, I've acknowledged so many times that, you know, good antagonists are supposed to make you angry, yes. But I'd rather just, you know, in the moment that they are the, what did someone say earlier? Active threat. When they're an active threat, that's all they are. I only need to be angry. I don't, after every time they make me angry, I don't want to have to say, okay, but yeah, that means that they're a well-written antagonist, and like, then, because then, so exhausting. Like, just be mad. Just be in love with her, whatever. Sam says, there are those bridges too that we built in preparation of sea level rising, right? But it was built by slaves. So saying we built means we, the celestial dragons, the Gorosei, I mean. I would phrase that like, there are the bridges too that people were forced to build by the Gorosei in preparations of the sea level rising, probably. Yeah, but we didn't build it. People were forced, enslaved to build that shit, right? Oh, you just wanted to write were built. The bridges that were built in preparations. That was a bad one. Typo. I'm just happy to see a female antagonist in One Piece that is legit and can handle her own. Is Big Mom a joke to you? What the fuck? What do you mean? We've had a lot of great female antagonists, but I think it's kind of like, it's almost, well, once again, it's just shonen. Target is, it's not, anyone can read it, but 80% are gonna probably be guys. Maybe 70% nowadays. But even when you look at the history of piracy, it was tough for a woman in this world, you know. We get, so it probably is just more often these, because once again, generally guys are built different, so they're often the stronger ones. But with a power like this, it does set her apart, right? But yeah, I think there have been some very good female antagonists in One Piece. She doesn't feel to me like a standout yet. She's a good antagonist, but wait, let me see. Female antagonists, One Piece. Ooh. Piranha was a good one back then. I really loved how, this is not to compare, but just a nice refresher. I especially loved Piranha and how even like Zoro, I mean, the way that he got, and then the only one that could really handle her was Usopp, for a similar reason why Luffy was the only one that could handle Inaru at the time. So I think Piranha is a great example. Sugar is a great example. Black Maria is a pretty great example. Don't really remember Baby 5. Katarina Devon, I'm so excited kind of to see more of her. Big Mom, probably my favorite. And yeah, Boa. But she wasn't an antagonist for very long, right? Ulti doesn't even make the list here. I thought of Alvida as well, but she didn't last very. She's from so early. I guess she's weak by comparison to Gunko. But I feel like the best examples would be Boa and the Big Mom. And I'm excited for more of Katarina, but she's also up there. Even Black Maria. Black Maria is one of the most powerful members of the Beast Pirates and is also a popular One Piece female villain. She's not only strong and devious, but also one of the coolest looking female villains, especially when she uses her devil fruit powers to transform. I hope Oda can capitalize on her. It's tough when you have such a huge cost. But my favorite, I think Piranha should be higher on the list. Ulti was the only Tobiropo that fought Luffy and walked away. I love me some Ulti. I have an Ulti key and it's one of my favorite keys. So yeah, she could be, but I guess maybe he means like who played an important role in the story, because with a character like Piranha, eventually probably Katarina, Big Mom and Boa, if you take them away, it wouldn't be the same. Like entire arcs would go differently without that character. So I think Ulti in that respect, you could take Ulti away and probably it wouldn't really change the course of that arc, right? So I think it's more like Gunko is one of those kinds of characters. So here's my Ulti key. Look at her. She's so cute. I love her. I would love a Doflamingo level female antagonist. Big Mom is close but doesn't hit for you. But I don't think Gunko is gonna be that character because if she was part of the Gorosei, maybe. She's not. Ouch. But I mean, she has the power of a Gorosei, so who knows? I would like to be proven wrong. Ooh, yeah, Emu. Some people do think that Emu is a female. Love that. That would be crazy. Let's quickly see if I can roll myself a quick One Piece key. What is the hour? I have quite a few One Piece characters. I have Pudding, for example. Would love... Pudding is honestly one of my favorite characters in One Piece outside of the main cast. And I love that she's still relevant. Can't wait to see more. Like, Piranha is memorable and she still shows up, but she's not super relevant right now. She doesn't seem to be to affect the main story. She could eventually be brought back in, but she's not in right now. But Pudding is like right there in the middle of things. Big Mom is very memorable to me. So I have to disagree there. Sometimes I fall asleep and I just hear wedding cakey. I'm joking. It wasn't because of that. There was like the way that she kept getting skinnier and her hair was on fire. Like that was honestly in some ways I have to say not maybe not, but Big Mom versus Luffy and um Jinbei being part of that fight and all that. If the pacing was a bit better there for me, once again, pacing is subjective, but if the pacing was better in that fight and there wasn't so much chasing and wedding cakey, I probably would have enjoyed that fight more than Kaido versus most of I mean, obviously not including Luffy's transformation. That is, dare I say, iconic. But the build up of the fight and the character herself. I like Big Mom more than Kaido. Easy. No competition even. So I don't know. Can't say that she didn't do anything memorable. She got an amazing flashback. The stuff with Caramel still being relevant now and coming back to all the giant stuff. But not every villain needs to be as good as the next. You like Doflamingo. I found him. The most interesting thing for me about Doflamingo was the fact that he had a brother that went the exact opposite way after experiencing the exact same trauma. That is to me the most interesting thing about Doflamingo. Ooh, someone went through a trauma and became a bad guy. Very unique. He has a cool power, but that's about it. He has fucking flamingo legs. And the most interesting thing about him is his brother. My issue is Wano. Well then, but that's a separate thing. I like how she was used because what's very interesting about her character is that you can't say that she's evil in the same way that she's a very complex character if you consider the fact that she ate people and she didn't even realize it. And in her mind, she truly believes, she's very childlike, and she truly believes she wants to make the world a better place, and she did for the most part until she gets hungry, then you better watch out. But then in other ways, she's trying to make all these children in her personal army. She's like a freaking complex character. It's so interesting. I think that gets lost with the pacing, maybe, or the comedy around. I don't know, but for me, it hits. We definitely know more about why Big Mom is Big Mom, but with Kaido, it's more implied. Yeah, and that's interesting in its own way, and it works for some people. It can be fun to have a little bit of detail about a character and then get to just fill in the blanks when it's done in an intentional way. That can be interesting, but yeah, I like Big Mom more for various reasons. She's very complex. I feel like you keep moving your goalpost. Like you say something and then I say, okay, that's not true because of this reason. And then you say, okay, but let me move my goalpost to the next thing. Actually, what I meant was, what I'm saying is this. And then I'm like, okay, but, so I don't know. You don't like her. Okay. She's disrespected sometimes. She's a childlike character that is insanely strong. She's not Kaido. She's not some... You guys just want fucking cool villains. Just say that. I want cooler villains with... I don't know. But, okay, cool. I don't need all my villains to be cool. Fucking Doflamingo and his walk. It's so cool. Walking like a flamingo. Hi, Jerry. I'm so late. We went to the Easter musical after all. I hope you enjoyed the manga. I did. We're talking about how apparently Big Mom is not a good enough antagonist, and she gets disrespected by Oda because she's not memorable, and I don't even know anymore. The goalpost keeps moving, so I don't even know what I'm addressing anymore. Okay. I agree with you. Big Mom was not a main antagonist for Luffy at any point. She wasn't. Cherry, how do you feel about that? Was Big Mom not a main antagonist for Luffy? I mean, there was an entire arc revolving around trying to defeat her, run away from her. They even they make this whole plan with other pirates to take her down, which ended up failing. Sam says Kaido was stated as the strongest, but after Big Mom's fight with Law and Kid, I felt she was as tough as Kaido or even tougher. That's what I love about her. She is freaking strong, but the complex part is, for me, is the fact that if she was more in control of her faculties, like I said, she has a very childlike mind. If she was able to mature through it, she could have been as cool as Kaido. You were just mad that, what, did you want her and the Kaido to fight against Luffy? Because she had her moment against Luffy. She was a main antagonist. She just wasn't a main antagonist for 2 arcs. What did you want? Kaido to fight Kid and Luffy to fight Big Mom again? I don't understand what you want. I feel like in your mind you've decided that she's not good enough, and that's fine, but don't lie about what she was. She was a main antagonist for the main character. That's not an opinion, I think. Is that an opinion? Like, I can be wrong, but but she wasn't as she wasn't like Doflamingo. Why should villains be the same? That would be boring. Each one brought something unique to each arc that they were the feature in. I don't know what the other guy is saying. My point was just that we don't have enough female main antagonists. I think we do. I don't think it needs to be if there's 5 main boys, there has to be 5 main girls. It's a shonen, and the guys are generally stronger than girls, even in real life. So I think we have enough. So the start of the conversation was more interesting than the current one. But yeah, I think Boa was a great antagonist, but that kind of, took a turn because she fell in love with Luffy, which is unique. Big Mom, we've already discussed. Katarina for the future, definitely a lot of potential there. Black Maria, but not so much in terms of importance in the story, so you don't include her, I get it. But Perona, Sugar, also good examples. So, I don't know, I feel like we have enough. Big Mom was strong, but to me, Kaido was a scary motherfucker. Yeah, and we all have our favorite villains. Like I said earlier today, it's kind of like whether you eat your eggs with mayo or hollandaise or tomato sauce, at the end of the day, favorites or tastes, you can say whatever you want. But I don't know, saying that she wasn't a main antagonist, or she wasn't a main antagonist for Luffy. I mean, did you not see the whole Sanji thing and why she was a problem in that arc? I don't know. I don't think every single villain needs to follow the same pattern and have the same conclusion. That would be extremely boring. So what makes a main antagonist is not, okay, did it follow the same pattern as the Flamingo? It does not have to. I love Perona too. Okay, so it's been a bit of a long video. Let's kind of just conclude. I was supposed to read some SBSs, but hey, a crazy woman be scary every time. It's the fact, part of the fact that she's so childlike is extra scary to me, because it's like her tantrums are truly terrifying, because it's like she doesn't even know her own strength. Imagine if she did. And she was really, I feel like she's not even in control truly. She kind of, since the very beginning, got directed by that guy that found her after she ate everyone. And he kind of like directed her strength in a way that, and told her, okay, yeah, we're doing this. And she was like, oh, we have to make a happy place where everyone can eat and you know, be happy. And everyone, like I said, they lived in her territory, that they kind of lived nicely on the surface, but just wait until she gets hungry, because then she's like a child and throwing toys out of her cot, everything. But if she had a sharp mind, Kaido wouldn't stand a chance. So I get it, maybe some people wanted her to be that villain, but then it would be too close to Doflamingo. He had a really sharp mind, sure. He made his plans. It wasn't sharp enough because he failed. Couldn't really pass that, overcome that little hurdle where don't become what you hate. Wasn't sharp enough to realize that. But he was sharp. When she lost her memory for some time, the way she was easily handling Queen by pure strength, maybe not even Haki, it was scary. But yeah, we have Gunko now, and she might be, I don't see it yet how she could be that level for me as a because she's still not Gorosei, but she does have that ability, so it could get worse from here. Hopefully not, though, because I feel like that arrow ability, she could make them fight each other, and that is the worst kind of fight. Like, have you guys seen the Pokemon movie where the Pikachu is slapping the Pikachu? The kind of pain? No. Although, I guess they're not... Anyway. Do people like Kaido, or do they like his title as the strongest creature? I think he has a cool design. I think he has a cool title. I think there are hints about his past that makes him very interesting, but we haven't really been able to delve into that. And a lot of people see him as a missed opportunity as well, because he was like some drunkard in some ways, you know? But that was cool too in its own way, because like I said, we don't want every villain to have the same formula. I wonder if Robin would just counter Gunko, since Robin doesn't aim her attacks. I think what you mean to say is maybe, or how I would understand that is, she wouldn't be able to see where Robin's hands would pop up. So... But someone with really, really good observation haki might be able to counter. Who has the best observation haki? I'm going to stop talking to you. If you want to keep talking about the same thing, just please comment on the video. I'll get to it later. Sanji has really good observation, Haki. Sorry, Sanji wouldn't be able to fight Gunko though, so we have to think of someone else. I love the concept of the strongest, but Kaido don't go deep about that. Sorry, I'm really trying not to laugh. It's tough because now I'm imagining the how it would start the fight, and I can't. Okay. I was more thinking about how Robin can sprout her arms on Gunko and restrain or grapple her. Ooh, yeah. Robin is pretty OP in that sense. We've thought for a long time, but she's almost like a very soft soul. And plus, her arms are delicate. Even if she can like snap someone's neck, if they're faster and they cut her hand off, that would cut her own hand off, right? So there is a big weakness there. And that's what I love about, I think, a lot of the One Piece powers is the fact that even when an ability seems OP, like Robin's always did to me, what did Hanko do? He claimed he probably thought she was very high ranked or something. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, about I forgot. But anyway, OP powers. Yes. So One Piece has a way to subvert your expectations. I hate saying that. No, I don't hate it. It just brings up funny memories. But yeah, it has a good way to subvert your expectations regarding OP powers. They're never as OP as you think. Although Gunko definitely seems to be more cutthroat than Robin, because Robin cares about kids and she sees everyone below her, like not on her, in her rank, they're trash. She's not a human. She's a god. So because of that cutthroatness, I think that her ability right now does really look OP. And we had that kind of Robin back when she was working under Crocodile, but as she softened, she became less guarded. Yeah, I think her weakness showed a bit. The weakness of her type of ability. Even though I try to avoid the comment, my brain speed read it. And I think I'm just gonna highlight the last part of what you said, which I have been saying this entire last 30 minutes. Everyone have their own opinions. And yes, everyone does have their own opinions. But saying that Big Mom was not a main antagonist because she didn't fit your pattern or formula for a main antagonist, I don't think that that's an opinion. I think that that's saying something. It's more in the factual side. So that's why I very strongly disagree with you there about how you were phrasing some of your previous comments. I joked about it before. Wait, I can't find this. Oh, I joked about it before, but really, I think Zoro's inability to follow directions will put him up against Gunko. And then Sam says that would be too funny. I would love that, but at the same time, I feel like the Sanji fans would kind of be mad at how cool that fight would be. Because apparently, they conveniently forget all of Sanji's coolest fights when Zoro gets a cool moment. Because of like 2 things that happened in 1,000 episodes. I'm joking. They mentioned like 5 things, but only 2 of those things actually meant something in my mind. The other 3 things was like, no, come on. You're just looking for problems now. Can we look at... I want to look at... You know that battle thing? You made a thing like this. Aha. So I had Gunko versus Nami and Robin. But Robin is currently closer to that guy. These two are fighting Gunko. Wait. No, where's Jinbei? But anyway, Usopp and Brook are with Gunko. So, yeah, my predictions are slowly being flushed further and further into the drain. But Zoro usually fights someone with swords. Yeah, but who has swords? This guy has thorns. This guy has a pole? I don't know what that is. She has sharp arrows that could be used as swords. No, not really. Summers has a thorn fruit. Robin has a flower fruit. Maybe. Yeah, that's a good matchup. Symbolically. Mugetsu. That's how you say that. You finally... I can agree with that. You don't like her as much as Kaido or Doflamingo. That is a fair thing to say. As a Sanji fan, my main frustration is his coolness is that he no longer gets his tactical showings. Like Mr. Prince and the Gates of Justice in Enies lobby. But he had 2 entire arcs dedicated to him. Zoro never got that. We're not all gonna get what we want. You see? You see? Like, those... Mr. Prince never... It was just like a random thing that happened. It didn't mean anything. He got 2 entire arcs dedicated to his history, character development, personality, everything. It is integral to the story, his relationship with Pudding. Integral. But no, I need him to have his Mr. Prince moment again. That seems kind of like diluting the importance his character has had up to now. To need him to have those moments consistently for him to be worthy. Like, he is worthy, with or without his silly jokes. Killingham has the trident, so I thought maybe we would see Zoro versus him. I hope not. That would be my least favorite matchup, like Zoro versus Killingham. Bleh. We still have so many good Sanji moments in Egghead alone. Zoro got an off-screen fight with Lucci for 6 months. Lemfeo. Oh, yeah. Sometimes I forget. Sanji got a smaller tactical showing when he targeted Kaku with the bubble gun when Lucci made his move on Vegapunk. I thought that was actually cool. The way he trusted the people to handle what's going on there and he was handling here. I thought that was a cool moment. Sanji fans, however, made it seem like it was a shitty thing. Like, oh yeah, tackle the man that's on a bed. Like, you don't know that guy can't really move. Lucci was sitting there all chill. You have to make sure both are incapacitated. So I thought it was cool. And then Sanji, his own fans were like shitting on him. Like, oh, he got this, blah, blah, blah. It's so weird to me how perspectives can differ. And the ones who are supposed to be his fans saw that as something negative. But I, who's like a more chill fan, saw it as something cool. I can also list other things about other Straw Hats, like Zoro's laugh, we don't get now. Usopp's impressions. Yeah, there's not time for everything, I guess. We don't get little Mr. Prince moments, but we also don't get Zoro's laugh. We also don't get, because I think we're lacking time. The cost keeps getting bigger. Side characters get more important in each arc. We have really important side characters compared to, in the beginning, like Konis wasn't, I mean, she was important in the story, but the main cast were always the ones who shined. Nowadays, you get side characters like freaking Bonnie and a whole, backstories that go. So I just don't think there's as much time to appreciate these, to have these little moments with the MCs, because the story has taken precedence. It's nearing the end, not little, but nearing. Like, yeah, the comedy's less because the story is taking precedence, I think. That's why I think Oda needs to focus on 5 Straw Hats as must more downtime slice of life boat ship rides. 5 Straw Hats in an arc. I think we should have had, we can't do it now, it's too late, but we should have had like filler, much more stuff between the character. But that could have gone south if it was bad filler. But I just think there's so much potential for islands and fun. And so this is Tiago's thoughts on the chapter. Usopp be spitting facts. Most of the celestial dickheads are ugly and annoying. Damn it, Imu is the 5 elders getting powers not enough. Honestly, at the moment, I was suspecting Jarur, the oldest giant, for selling out the giants to Imu after the comment about being into older women and being the only guy alive from arresting Loki. Along with that, other hero friend of his, Lin 8. And now we are circling back to, did Harald sell the giants out or not? Loki would definitely kill for that, and I still think Jarul is in on it somehow. Just not sure if the screw up is intentional from Harald or by Loki until more is revealed. I think maybe he backed out. Maybe he realized what he was doing is the wrong thing. I would like to see that. I would like to see someone make the wrong decision and realize it and try and back out, and then it's too late. It's too late. You're going to use the vicious, violent power that once terrified the world in service to us as mercenaries. Isn't that right, King Harold? And then stupid Harold had to go and screw it up. So it's like, maybe they're obviously not above using children or some kind of similar means to force the giants to join their side. I wonder if they had something like that on King Harold that maybe even Loki didn't know about, but then he was trying to get out of it or trying to find another way, and then in the end he ruined their plans. He somehow, that would be like a twist on a twist, when King Harold was the one that sold them out, but there were like hostages involved and he somehow got them out and then foiled their plans or something, I don't think Harold sold them out. Harold wants to make the giants peaceful, which would go against the world government using them as a tool. But that, we've been talking about this, like that was what he said, and that's what people love him for. But Loki clearly thought, I don't know, we have to see. There's too much we don't know yet. The mystery is on point. So it is 20 minutes past 10. I'm probably going to finish up my stream and the read along here. Please feel free to comment on more thoughts on the video when you think of them, or if you want, here in the One Piece manga chat. Dio says, Eneru is back. I mean, he has been mentioned for the first time in ages. Kinda back. Wait, where? Here in my stream? Or in the manga? Did I miss that? Mugiwara says, all I know is that the Harald Loki flashback will be amazing. In the manga? Where? I'm always looking for Eneru mentions. Oh. Damn it. There was a while ago where, I'm thinking of the time where the guy said Mars, the power plant Mars. And then I thought there was a power plant on Mars. Enerud went to space, so maybe. But no, the guy's name is Mars. And he was talking to him. The power plant Mars. I was so sad. I so badly want just more Enerud. Oh no, I hope not. Eneru is my fiance's favorite villain. I still prefer Crocodile, but Eneru was great too. He is a great villain. I loved him. I would say between Crocodile and Eneru, slightly more. But I think it's also because there's more mystery with him. Crocodile's back and he's working with Mihawk and, Buggy, and that's awesome. But there's still so much mystery regarding Eneru, and that keeps me so invested in him and wanting to know, is he going to come back? Where is he? I also have that feeling that Eneru wouldn't work for anyone, so I can't see him as a holy knight. And yes, Eneru has that very memorable, hilarious face. Okay, but I'm hungry, so thank you guys for a super fun Sunday, DB Sunday. Plus we had, I'm not gonna lie to you, Dragon Ball Z and then One Piece and then more One Piece is kind of like a super Sunday. So if ever in the future I need to swap some things around, I might do it again. But yeah, it might be better to kind of split the hype. So I'll be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. South African Standard Time. And I'll be reacting to DBZ Movie 9. Probably Fire Force and probably Vigilantes. But after the DBZ movie, I'm a little bit like chilled. I could do, I don't know, we only have one episode of Windbreaker out at the moment, so yeah, probably will be that. DBZ movie 9, Fire Force, Vigilantes tomorrow. That's fine. Thank you, Mike. Happy Easter Sunday, everyone. I hope you had a lovely Easter weekend. It was super exciting today. I'm so happy to be back. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Thank you, Son of Man, Mike. I will post One Piece now, soon. Ryo, Caliente, Mugiwara, Monkey D, Kush, Booty, Espada, Carlos, Tiago, Cherry. I'm so happy that you got to pop in at the end. Salel, Doji, Espada, and Sam, and the Mugetsu, even though we took a while to kind of come to a middle point. Even if I strongly disagree with someone and we butt heads, I don't mind it as long as we're not insulting each other or anything. It's good to have disagreements. It's good to talk about it. And I think that we found a nice settling point at the end, which is important. Bye, Mugiwara. Thank you too. Happy Easter. I'll definitely drop by tomorrow, at least for some chill and chat. Ooh, are you not watching Vigilantes? Let me know what seasonals you're watching when you have time. Okay, bye, guys. Bye, Hunter. Thank you too. Thanks for the stream. I can't wait to have more fun tomorrow. Some Monday fun. See you then.